Welcome. It's Adele Anderson, and today we're talking about happiness tip number 18, and it's priming happiness. Because psychology states that what we believe becomes us. So if we prime ourselves for happiness, meaning that we are happy, that we feel happy, then happiness becomes us, and we start to view our world, we start to filter our thoughts and our processes and our actions in a happy way. But let's find out more about priming. What exactly is priming? Well, psychology states that it's training our brain to look in a certain direction, whether it's positive or negative. And now we know that there's lots of positive reasons to be positive. If we become aware that when we're positive, we're more likely to achieve a goal, any goal, whatever it is. So for example, a little off track, but if you're aware that a lot of people are unhappy with their weight, and yet obesity results in more fatal cancers than cigarettes, which is kind of crazy. Yet people fail to lose the weight that they truly want to shed because they're unhappy with their weight. So they're unhappy rather than happy. So we need to learn a little bit about brain science so that we can overcome the ways that our mind self-sabotages us and that our willpower stops our ability to lose weight by being primed for happiness. And we can do this whether or not we're talking about weight, or we're talking about financial freedom, or we're talking about relationships. Whatever it is, we prime ourselves for happiness, and happiness is a big component to make our tasks successful. They say that it's actually a predictable outcome. So by exposing yourself, continually exposing yourself, drawing your mind's attention towards that, you're initiating these super rich chemicals within your brain, not only making you feel good, but actually making your body more healthy. But let's think about it in a different way. Financial success. If you're primed towards happiness and positivity, you're actually more likely to achieve financial success because you feel good about your task. You're looking at it in a positive way, so you keep going because it makes you feel good. But, we're looking for these intriguing mindsets that create actual changes in our neural pathways within our brain. Because priming actually creates a new neural pathway to be set up and constructed within our mind. And if we've looked at our task, or we feel unhappy with the task that we're doing, then we're on a neural pathway and it's lit up. So whenever we're thinking in that particular mode, think of it that the lights are on. So if we change our focus into a positive pathway, then that negative pathway, the illumination dims, and we start to build this highway within our mind that is primed towards thinking in a positive way. So changing our perspective of looking at life in a positive way actually changes our behavior to act in a positive way. And that brings out all types of rewards, because the people that you meet, the people that you engage with, are always an opportunity to bring some reward back towards you. But let's think about priming in a different way, because our brain loves to learn with stories and metaphors. So if you have a moment, I'd like you to sit down in a comfortable place and just take a couple of deep breaths. So breathe in, feel your chest cavity expand, feel that life-giving energy fill your body and all the little happy synapses that are filling every cell in your body each time you breathe in, and then you give your gift back to the universe simply by breathing out. And as we're breathing in and out as naturally as life is, I'd like you to imagine that you just stepped onto an old farm. It's got rolling fields that are filled with beautiful green, lush, tall grass. And you can see the grass waving back and forth in the gentle breeze. And the sun is shining down on you, and you can feel the warmth against your skin. You can smell the aroma of the grasses that are filtering up through this gentle wind that's cooling your body to the perfect temperature. And you can probably hear some birds that are chirping their lovely song through the day. And off in the right-hand corner, you can see that there's a beautiful old wooden stand, and on top of it sits a green aged pump. So you recognize this, that there is probably a big well beneath, and there's a big shaft that goes down from the pump deep within the well and into the water that sits below. And that intrigues you so much that you move closer up and to the right of the corner of the farm. And as you reach the platform, you see that it's weathered and aged almost like a silver gray, just like our hair ages with our wisdom as we grow up into our adult selves. And within this, you can now see there's some faded green paint that still is etched on the side of this pump. And there's a beautiful little metal bucket that's hanging off the faucet. And you notice that the long wooden handle that is used to pump the well and to prime the well is almost shiny, like fine piece of furniture from all the oils of the hands that have used this well for years to bring this beautiful water up to be drank and enjoyed and nourishing the body. So it encourages you. All of a sudden you're thirsty and you want some of this water. But you have to prime the pump in order for it to actually flush the water out into your little bucket. So you step up onto the platform and you take hold. You can maybe feel yourself take hold with both hands, and as you move the pump for the first time, it groans beneath your effort. And as you push down and pull back up on the pump, you can hear the water begin to stir deep within the well. A little bit of the water gets sucked up into the pipe because it's starting to prime within the shaft of the well, and a bunch of water trickles back down into the well, creating that little tinkling sound of water dripping back into the well. And you can feel the resistance of this prime. As you work to prime the well for the first time in years, you can realize that it takes a bunch of your effort. This is new for you, but soon you get your rhythm. And you begin to pump a little bit faster, and you can feel the pump is priming and that you're going to be rewarded with this beautiful, rich mineral well water soon. It's cold, refreshing water. Each push gets a little bit easier, and as you speed up, you feel the sweat on your brow, and your salivary glands actually start to get moisture within your mouth because you're anticipating your reward every time you push up and down. You're sucking this water into the shaft and priming the well. And if the well is well maintained, then all you have to do is continue with what you're doing because it's working. And without any doubt, the water's going to pour out of the faucet and into this bucket, and you're going to be rewarded. But what happens if that plan doesn't work out? This is often what happens in life. We start off with a vision of what we want from life, and we begin to prime our well, and we think that we've got the rhythm, and we think that we're doing everything that we need to be rewarded. But then what happens is there's a little bit of sabotage that comes in. The well maybe has some seals that are weak, or the shaft that's priming the well to do its job has gotten old and it's gotten a few leaks in it. And so the shaft does not prime, and we have to think of it in a different way. And this is when we feel disappointed. This is when we think that our effort is not going to be rewarded and that we're just pumping and there's nothing that's happening and abundance is escaping us, and here we are, standing on the platform of the pump that refuses to prime. And then there are times when we feel our hands let go of the pump, and it falls back to resting, and we hear the water crash back into the well, and we do not have water. And we feel disappointed, and we feel like our effort is just too much. And maybe this is where we give up. Have you been there, where you felt that you're just expending too much energy and not enough reward? And this is where you give up. But if we look up into the right, into our creative mind, where we can prime our pump in a different way, and we can still drink the water of our choice, we can still have our bucket overflowing with water, with so much water that we'll be able to share it with others. We just need to go into our deep thinking brain and prime our pump. We do that by looking up and to the right, and that puts us into our creative mind, into the part of our imagination and in our invention, which we can imagine how to do things that have never been done in the world before. This is the magnificence of your mind, to be able to prime your own pump. So if the pump right now has a few leaks in it, don't give up, because there's another way. And if you truly want the reward, you truly believe that this is what you want, and you understand why you want it, and the reward is going to be glorious, then move into your creative mind and prime your pump by looking up and to the right into your creative mind. And you will find the solution that becomes effortless and easy, that will get rid of this uncomfortableness of struggling that's within your system that says that there's not enough abundance in this world for me. And yet I tell you, I implore you, if you look up and to the right into your creative mind, you will prime your pump, and your pump will reward you with an abundance of cool, crisp water that you can drink, that will nourish your soul and nourish your mind and make you happy. Because when we are positive about what we want to achieve, it makes our success more likely. And so I encourage you to not simply concede that the old way isn't working and then to move on to another thing that you will have to put effort and struggle into and still might not reach your goal. If you remember that you're sitting in this beautiful farm on top of this beautiful age platform that has rewarded many people and filled many bodies with nourishing water, and the sun is shining down upon you, and you can feel the gentle breeze cooling your body to the perfect temperature, and you see the positivity in the situation, even though you haven't received your reward yet, that it's not exactly what you thought your reward would be, but there's still beauty within the moment that you are in. It's just that your desire to change and to find a different way must be greater than your desire to stay the same. And these are the moments where magnificent happens in your life. When you've made the decision to change, then your mind becomes calm and the tension leaves your body, because your mind is now looking for a solution to what is limiting your potential. So when life seems hard, and when you feel like you're struggling, it is simply a signal from your mind to tell you, please look up into the right, into your massive, creative, wonderful mind. And the problem is not as big as you might think, because your creativity, your imagination, your ability to imagine and create things that have never been seen in this world before all happen when you're looking up and to the right. You simply have to shift your focus from the struggle of pumping to priming. You're now primed. You're going to continue to look for the positive in everything that you do. Whether or not today you feel struggle, it is simply a signal that it's time to change and to look at things a different way and prime your pump for positivity. And then success will be yours. Psychology says it will be, and so it is done. So two remarkable things happen. And while you're funneling your attention away from your problem into finding a new and better way, two amazing things are happening within your mind. As I mentioned before, as you turn your attention away, not only does your mind calm, but you release this old neural pathway that's no longer serving you. And your mind enters a deep state of thinking. And your mind enters a deep thinking state, which is natural for our brain. Our brain doesn't like to scan, it likes to learn things in depth by focusing on a solution that is imaginative, creative, and inventive. And you can do that. What also happens is your mind creates a new neural pathway, one that takes the attention away from the old and creates one that is moving you positively towards your goal. Always thinking in a positive direction. When we have disappointment in life, there is always a rainbow. There is always something to be grateful for, something to be thankful for. And when we have these feelings of gratefulness and thankfulness, we get stimulated and rewarded because the dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin rush through our body and we feel good. Simply by learning a new method of being positive, you're priming your positivity pump. Discovering new ways. And filling your bucket with an abundance of fresh, clear well water that will nourish your mind and your soul as certainly as science says it will be so. So now you can almost taste that water. It's yours. The abundance is there. You are priming yourself for positivity, and I'm grateful for that. It makes your world and my world a more beautiful place. You're recalibrating your brain to think in a positive way, and this will reward you with so much. And I'm grateful that you're here doing this today, achieving another goal for yourself simply by shifting. Whenever you need, whenever you feel this state of discomfort within your body, once again I remind you to look up and to the right, and your mind will take you where you need to go. Consider priming yourself for happiness as an integral tool to not only feeling happy, but achieving the goals that you want in life. Until we speak in person, I wish you a fabulous day and prime. You're in the prime of your life. You're in the prime of your life. Stay well.